What's up, beautiful creatures? So first off, I like to start with a clean face, of course. I'm just applying some moisturizer to the dry spots on my face, which are usually around my nose and chin. Now I'm just taking a spoolie brush and some hairspray. This is a trick I have to keep my hairs in place if I don't have brow gel, so I just give a squirt or two of that on my spoolie and comb them brows. Taking an angled liner brush and the matte shade Shadow Box from the Kat Von D Monarch palette, I'm just starting to feather that into my brows. Personally, I like to start small with my brows and just build up the product because nobody wants blocky brows. Oh, and there's me being weird. To sharpen up those edges, I'm just taking some concealer on the back of my hand and a flat brush. I think this is actually a lip brush, but oh well, being a rebel today. I like to sharpen the outer edge of my eyebrows and sometimes the underneath. Normally, I don't like to sharpen up the top edge, but I decided to give it a go today. Now I'm just priming my eyes with the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Eye Primer. I just dab that on and blend it out for both eyes. Taking the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette in the shade Combust and a fluffy blending brush, I'm just lightly dusting that on my eyes, focusing it more on the crease and above the eye. This will help with blending in a bit. To slowly transition that, I'm then taking the shade Vanish and also adding that to the crease area. Don't forget to blend all your edges out so you have a nice even transition. I know it doesn't look like a whole lot yet, but these transition shades will help in the long run. Now I'm using another angled liner brush and the dagger shade. I'll explain this look on my face at the end. To figure out where to put your cut crease line, you may actually have to close and open your eye to see where your crease is. If you have hooded eyes or have really no lid, I would place the cut crease just above yours to give the illusion of a bigger lid. Instead of closing the eye up, I'm giving a slight wing to the shadow. I warn you, we are gonna look pretty odd for a lot of this video. Cut crease looks are quite the process, but just be patient and take your time blending. Taking a round detail brush while laughing at yourself and the shade Smolder, I'm just going in and adding more depth to the cut crease. Another quick tip is if you're having issues with eyeshadow not sticking to you or the pigment just isn't really paying off, try wetting your brush with a bit of water. Be sure to really feather that color out so that you have no harsh lines. Now I'm going in with black market and defining that cut even more. The easiest way to do a cut crease in my opinion is to just take it slow and build up your colors. I'm quickly taking a doe fluffy brush and blending out those colors, and then I'm taking Vanish again and blending out just a tad bit more. Next, I'm using NYX's Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, adding that all over the lid and smoothing it out with a flat concealer brush. Be sure to get as close as you can to the cut crease to get that really sharp line. Now time for the shimmer! I'm just taking a regular eyeshadow brush, dipping it into Armor and patting that carefully all over the lid. If you're having trouble blending out the edges with the shadow brush, whip out your good old trusty fluffy blending brush and go to town on that shimmer. Of course, I didn't think the cut crease was dark enough, so I went in with Deadhead and quickly touched that up with an angled brush. Then I took the shade 13 on a different blending brush and dusted that on my brow bone. I quickly dusted off any fallout with a powder brush, and taking that tiny detail brush again, I went in with all 3 dark shades at once and brushed that onto my lower lash line. I took 13 again and added a touch of that in my inner corners. I also put a touch of Armor in the inner corner of my lower lash line to give a little bit more of a pop. My favorite time is liner time. Today I'm using the Felt Liquid Liner from BH Cosmetics. Personally, I like to line my lash line first. I ever so slightly pull on my outer eye area so that I can line my lash line easier since I do have such rounded eyes. I love the Felt Liner pen because I feel like I have more control with it. Then what I like to do is just carefully angle my liner pen upwards and slowly start drawing the wing. I usually just start small so that I don't mess up, honestly, and then I just join that wing with the lash line. Next, of course, is mascara. I'm just using L'Oreal's Voluminous Mascara and giving a generous coating to my top lashes. And then I also put some on my lower lashes, but not too much. Today I'm using Maybelline's Age Rewind Foundation, and I'm just placing the product where I want it. Now I'm taking a stippling brush and blending that into my skin. The one thing I hate in life is a cake face, so we want a flawless finish today. I have so much redness on my cheeks, and I wanted to cancel that out, so I added a touch more and used a stippling motion to build up the product. Now for concealer. I'm using Revlon's Colorstay concealer in the lightest shade, and I'm putting a bit underneath my eyes and my nose. Thanks hormones for that redness. And taking my ring finger, because it's the most gentle for under your eyes, I'm patting that out in various motions. I'm just using some translucent powder from Ben Nye to set the foundation. My favorite blush is by the brand Annabelle, so I'm taking that on a tiny blush brush and buffing that into my cheeks. That was a lot of bees. I decided to add some Morphe lashes to the look, and I did that with just plain Duo lash glue. Make sure you wait a few seconds for the glue to get tacky and then place them on your lashes. Usually I would use tweezers to add lashes, but I misplaced mine at the time, so fingers it was. Place the middle down first and then do the outer corner and then finally the inner corner. Now for an extremely awkward close-up of my lips as I put on Lolita by Kat Von D. I am in love with this lipstick. I should get married to it. I can see why it sells out literally every single time I walk into Sephora. I ever so slightly overline my lips, but only on the outer corners. And of course, if you screw up on the lip line, you can always go back with some concealer and clean up those edges. But I succeeded today in applying lipstick for once, so I just went with the flow. Where did that come from?